Okay, cool. Let's go. Hello and welcome. I'm thrilled to have you here for the Experience Test Time, a guided product tour. We're scheduled for 30 minutes. I'm very optimistic that we'll cover everything and maybe more in the allotted time, or even finish a little earlier. The webinar marks the beginning of a series of how-to webinars that we have planned to do over the summer. Today's a high-level introductory overview of Testing Time and of our service. So sit back and get ready to explore how Testing Time can add value to your user recruitment process. So before we dive in with 2 feet, I will introduce myself properly. I'm Mark, and I'm the account manager for the UK at Testing Time. If you have any questions whatsoever at any point, or need assistance with inquiries, or require support in any way during your experience or time with Testing Time, just feel free to reach out to me directly. Could be creating a quote, discussing feasibility, setting up access, anything along those lines. I'm with you throughout your journey. So if you'd like to connect with me directly, please do try scanning the code next to my face. On the right hand side of the screen, it's a super easy way to get in touch. If you want to reserve judgment and wait till the end, I'll share the QR code again. So throughout my time at Testing Time, I've actually had the privilege to be the first point of contact for around 700 successful projects, recruitment projects. So these have spanned across a variety of sectors for multiple different companies. These are big companies, small companies, medium-sized companies too. And I work with some well-known brands in the UK, such as BT, Vodafone, Shell, and McKinsey. That's enough about me. Thanks again for joining one last time. On to the Testing Time origin story. So it's a tale of both inspiration and innovation. I'll set the scene really quickly for the origin story. A young Rito, passionate UX enthusiast, found himself facing a challenge. He needed to quickly and easily test a prototype, but the experience and the overall process actually turned out to be far from smooth. He realized it was definitely not the frictionless process that he hoped, expected, or wanted. But fear not, it was at this moment that a moment of frustration that sparked an idea. It was very much the light bulb moment and the birth of Testing Time. Vision was clear. He dreamed of a world full of happy users where testing was quick, easy, and hassle-free. A world where businesses could connect with the right participants effortlessly, streamlining their user recruitment process, gaining the valuable insights needed in order to create exceptional user experiences. Leads us nicely onto the Testing Time product vision. On a large and international scale, we deliver perfect matching test users anytime, anywhere, for any type of user research with total reliability. So let's have a little dig into that a little bit further. So the types of study that Testing Time can support you with. We pride ourselves on being experts in qual recruitments. Around 80% of the orders that we deliver are qual recruitments and qual studies. Our dedication in this area actually makes us a preferred partner for our clients, ensuring that they always receive the insights that they need. That's not all we do, though. We are more than comfortable with quantitative studies, providing a versatile range of methods to suit your needs. So surveys are actually really common in my day-to-day. On the quant side, personally, I find in the UK, most studies are either interview or they're surveys, but it's not to say we don't do other things like diary studies, moderated and unmoderated tests. So it's not uncommon actually for a lot of projects that we're involved in or support on to have a combination. So it could be survey data and in-depth interviews too. Seamlessly bringing the two together is where we excel. You might be wondering, or a frequently asked question, the first of many, is can we easily re-recruit a test user from a survey and invite them to an interview? The answer is yes. This is really simple to do with Testing Time. So whether it's qualitative, quantitative, or a combination of both, we're here to be a trusted partner, and we really want to ensure that you receive a comprehensive, hassle-free experience to get the meaningful results you need for your project. So a little bit more about the beating heart of TestingTime, our pool. So our core countries for delivery are in green in the graphic, the darker green more specifically. The lighter green, we're very proficient, but the dark green would very much be our core markets. We refer to them as our core countries. We do also have a healthy presence in other regions outside of the graphic in front of you. We typically take those projects on more of what we call a best effort basis. So this would be us saying that we can try and fulfill the full quota, but we'll only charge for what we think we can deliver. Anything within the full green graphic, more than comfortable. At this point, there's a usual second frequently asked question. And that question would be, where do you source the test users? So the answer to that question would be a combination, really. But it's a mix of meta ads, referral programs, active sourcing, partnering with influencers. It doesn't stop there, though, because acquiring great test users is just the beginning. We understand the importance of retaining them and for continued engagement. So to achieve this, we invest really heavily on onboarding, our onboarding process and engagement activities. By maintaining an engaging platform, we're keeping users active. And what we're doing is creating a responsive community of test users ready to contribute to your projects when you need them. So a bit of a heavier slide here, but let's dive into these really key 4 metrics on the right-hand side. Again, this covers a lot of the questions that are usually asked in an introductory call. So lead time, 48 hours. What are the lead times is probably one of the first questions. I would say our typical order span is maybe 7 days. So that's from the very first interaction or receiving your brief or setting up the quote all the way through to completing the last test. But yeah, we're really flexible, and a lot of consultancies I work with have much tighter turnaround times. So 48 hours is very realistic, and we can work with you on specific deadlines to turn around orders faster when needed. On to match rate next. So high accuracy is guaranteed. This is really important, right? So quality is at the core of what we do. When you order specific test users with TestingTime, we really take pride in delivering precisely what and who you request to a high level of accuracy. I'll have a look at screening and criteria and things like that in a moment, but the match rate's really, really high, as is the show up rate. So 98% for us for the show up rate. We're optimistic. We view it as a show up rate. 98% we're really proud of. It can sometimes be known as a no-show rate. In that case, it'd be 2%, but we prefer to emphasize and focus on the impressive 98% show up rate. Reliability is key, right? On to the average rating. So we employ a 5-star rating system to assess the performance of test users. We're continuously maintaining the high standards, which is really crucial to us, and that is 4.4 out of 5, not 4.4 out of 10, don't worry. And with your valuable input and feedback on each order that you do, on each test user, if you're willing to do so, really helps us work together and push the quality of the test user pool ever upwards. We take pride in these 4 pillars. They're good numbers, and they are the foundation of the service that we offer. Moving on to the process, I'll pick up the pace a little bit here. I'm just going to kind of touch on how we do it. I've given you a bit of who we are, and then I'm going to show you the actual demo. So, moving on. Each project and recruitment starts with describing your target group, okay? And it couldn't be easier. We have 2 core ways of doing this. So the first one is testingtime.com. It's a very simple self-service app, and it's designed to be so. You can easily transfer your project brief into the relevant boxes, or you can describe your requirements really cleanly using the intuitive online quote tool. I'm going to demonstrate this towards the latter end of this presentation. Should you need to change any criteria once you've got a quote, so say maybe you need 8 people instead of 6, or you need different slots, don't worry, you can automatically update that yourself using the URL once you've saved the quote, and any changes are reflected immediately in real time. So if something's amended that will affect the price, that recalculates clearly right at the start or during setup. So this ensures transparency and accuracy throughout the process. The second side of it is reach out to me. I am the account manager for the UK. Whether you need to check the lead times, discuss feasibility, help setting up the quote, anything you need, I'm here to support every step of the way. What is super helpful when you have a genuine specific project in mind, jump on a really quick call together and we can just run through it together. Take 10-15 minutes, we can kick off a project. Whichever route works best for you, we're here to ensure it goes smoothly and the journey is successful for each of your projects, whichever route you take. So the screening process, simplified and efficient. I'll show you this in a moment, but to touch on it quickly, customized screening questions are created by our recruiters based on your desired criteria. These are used in a screening questionnaire to filter test users to match to the high accuracy that we are looking for and you require. Or you can use your own questions. If you've already got the questions set up in a specific format, we can add them directly onto the quote platform. It's really easy to use. We then have the combination of automation alongside the human recruiters on our side. So once the screening questions are ready, we're able to be so fast on the lead times because we use automation and push our systems into action. Gives us a real edge on the recruitment. And then we shortlist the qualifiers who respond to your screening question, people that match your criteria. So we're really committed to streamlining every aspect of the recruitment phase. For me, the most positive feedback is always the combination of automation, but also human touch to optimize the process. Speaking of human touch, the recruiting process. So once we've selected the qualified test users, these test users are invited to participate in your study, and this is to the date and the time slots that you have set up in the quote. If it is a survey or a quant study, this is a little bit more automated as they don't need time slots. We just send the link to people that have already qualified. Invitations and scheduling, again, more for the qual side. The selected participants receive personalized invitation. They get this both by email and by text to ensure we get the right response from them and that they are as engaged as they need to be. And we're actually really on top of our sequences to ensure that nurturing and an encourage approach is happening all the time, prompting confirmation and increasing the high attendance rate, 98% again, remember. One question that gets asked here, back to my frequently asked questions, is what happens if you can't fill the full quota ordered? Example, you ordered 10 and we can only find 8. So in the rare event that we are unable to fulfill the quota, we only charge for the successful deliveries and we adjust the quote and the invoice down at the end. Should there be any no-shows or mismatches, our recruiters are on hand, right, all the time. They're very responsive and we can reschedule and replace participants depending on what the issue was or is. Just simply let your recruiter know. You get a dedicated recruiter for each order. So you get me to help pre-set up, but you also get a recruiter who can swiftly address any concerns that you've got or any issues you experience. The whole aim for us is to make it as smooth and reliable as possible for you. Touching more on the recruitment team. So we understand that it requires a strong partnership. I've referenced the combination of automation, but also the human touch. We actually have a team of 8 dedicated recruiters who genuinely do go above and beyond to assist you. For every order and project, you've got me beforehand, you've got a specific recruiter after or during even. So the recruitment team forms the core of the company. They really are the key strength of our delivery. Their passion for excellence and dedication really sets them apart. And please do contact them, right? They're really helpful. We have a rating system for us as well as the test users. Again, 5-star system, 4.7. Our clients are happy. They keep coming back. We have a lot of repeat custom. Please do feel free to rate our service and let us know, right? Any feedback from you helps us to continuously improve. And you'll be glad to notice the last slide. So payment. So we've touched on kind of recruitment, we've touched on scheduling, I've touched on support. The payment post-study, we take care of the full process for you. The incentives for the successful participants are automatically released directly into their test user wallet in their local currency. You don't need to worry about the payments. We handle everything. There's no complications for yourself. It's seamless. Transparency is vital, so you already know what the incentives are because they're itemized in the quote right at the start, and there's no hidden fees or surprises along the way on that front. So summarizing the slides, with TestingTime, you're getting an end-to-end solution that simplifies the entire process and takes most of the lead work away from yourself from start to finish. Okay, cool. So I'm going to jump over to a live screen share and show you the order form I've just spoke about for about 15 slides. I'm going to use an example. So what we can see here is a super simple brief. We're looking for dog owners living in the UK for 1-hour online interviews, and we want 6 test users. I'm going to follow this with a second example. Should be the same base, but a lot more fun. And what I'll do is make that a bit more complicated. So the first demo here, dog owners, 1-hour interviews, 6 test users, and it's going to be quite a simple overview. Okay. I am moving across to a quote. I have made it earlier, but honestly, it does take 5 minutes to set one up. I'm going to start on the summary page here. Key points to note are these little ticks. Once we have ticks on all 5 of these tabs, we're able to proceed with an order. At any point, we can save changes, and these tabs here, as you can see, are on the summary page here. We have itemized lines on the quote. I've already mentioned on the last slide there that incentives are included, and the other itemized criteria is along here. I'm going to show you how I've come up with this quote now. I'm going to go to the start. I'm going to go relatively quickly, but what I will do is spend a little bit longer on the second quote once you've had a chance to get your first look at the quote in this example, and then we'll touch on a lot of the functionality a bit more in the next one. So your project can be anything you like. Okay. This is accessible, by the way, from testingtime.com. You do not need to sign up. You can access it very simply on the public URL. For the purpose of the brief, we wanted to do an interview, and we're doing it remote. We do at your location. Probably 90% are remote, 95% are remote. And obviously, if you change to a different study method, the quote tool will update accordingly. So for example, on interviews, you need time slots and dates. On the online survey, you need a survey link. Cool. We need 6, but you can very easily see how amending the number affects the price on the right. But we want 6. Perfect. Mention the size of the pool, 800,000. We do also have a private pool. I'm not touching too much on that in today's demo. We're using the public pool, but we will be doing a separate demo on the private pool, and I'll be sure to send the information around about that to everyone that's in the call. So age criteria is not relevant for our specific brief. It may be on the next one. And gender mix is also not relevant. We do literally want English in the UK, dog owners. That was our criteria. So screening, there's 2 different ways I mentioned. One is setting up the questions yourself by directly transferring what you've already created. The second is providing criteria and the recruiters formulating the questions on your behalf, which then make the questionnaire we send out for screening. Dog owners is our only criteria, and we're not bothered about excluding experts in this scenario. So it will actually be a Google Meet, and this is the meeting link added in here. If this was a survey, this would be a survey link. No device requirements. A quick message to the test users. This is generally, yeah, I mean, it's a generic message in most scenarios. Please ensure you have a stable internet connection because it's remote, and please ensure your camera and microphone are on for the call because it's an interview, right? This box here we'll touch on a little bit more on the second example, but it's effectively a free text box that goes through to the recruiter. And then here we have the scheduling part. Okay, for a longer interview, the price automatically adjusts. Let's keep it at 60 minutes, which is what we want for now. You can see a calendar. If you want one date, select your date. If you want across 2 days, we can do that too. As we only have 6, let's try and do it in 1 day. And we've definitely got 6 slots. We should be okay. Incentive. There's no hard and fast calculation for incentives. I like to use £1, 1 minute. But you can see here we're saying the minimum's 30. All depends, right? If it's a more higher net worth individual, then perhaps a higher incentive is relevant. In this case, for a dog owner, I'm happy with that. We do not need an NDA or anything because it's not super secret dog food that we're testing. We can go through to here and you can see where we started. Perfect. Clear. Set up. Dog owners in the UK, 1 hour interview, 6 users, dog owners created. You could save this or you could order it. I'm going to jump to the second example, a little bit more fun. You see, we've got the same base. However, this time we're making use of the platform's functionality a little bit more. We're going to have some age splits in there, some gender splits. We've got a bit of extra criteria. And we also want an NDA because it is top secret dog food this time. And we're going to exclude market research. It's quite a common exclusion. You could do this also by industry. Cool. So I'm moving over. I start on the summary. Now, you may notice immediately that on the right-hand side, there is more itemized lines. That's because we're using more of the functionality. So I'm going to roll on. It is still an interview. It is still 6 users. This time we are utilizing the age ranges. This is how simple it is to put the ranges in and achieve the splits. Okay. We are doing the same for gender. We wanted 4 female, 2 male. You can also do evenly balanced if you prefer, or you can just amend the splits. A handy red note lets you know it must add up to 6 in this instance. So I've added an extra language just to show how it'd be done, although that wasn't on the brief. I'm going to take but I've added it in here, and then I've also added Germany. You can do multiple countries, multiple languages. Our core countries and core languages are available from the drop downs. So this time on the screening, we still want dog owners, but we also wanted them to have a household income over 50,000, and we wanted them to be married. The key to criteria in the system and in the online platform tool, one criteria, one box. For example, if I put married dog owners in one box, this wouldn't work, and we'd have to separate it out because it's two separate questions. And we are excluding experts this time. We don't want pet shop owners. They might be biased. And we don't want market researchers. Still have a meeting link. This time we're utilizing the device requirements. We want them to be on a desktop, laptop, because it's a little bit better for the interviews maybe. We still want them to have the microphone on. This time we've utilized the free text box. We've asked for the male participants to be in the afternoon for no reason, but it just shows you the kind of flexibility that you can put in free text to the recruiters. It's picked up by the recruitment team who are human, so feel free to write messages in there as if you are writing to the person who's going to be doing the recruitment. There's no changes here. What I have done is say that I don't prefer the 9 o'clock because I'm still feeling, I haven't felt the effects of my coffee yet, but it is available should we need it. But I've taken it out of a preferred. I've raised the incentive slightly as an example, just because it's got the slightly higher net worth criteria in there. I've also uploaded an NDA. Very simple. You can just upload any PDF. We would collate the NDAs for you before scheduling anyone. Onto the summary, you would save the changes or proceed with the order. Once you go through to proceed with order, there's still another page, so don't panic. And that would be where you input your details that are relevant for raising an invoice, general address, contact details, etc. Okay, I appreciate I've gone through that very quickly, but this setup looks like that. You can share these URLs with anyone that you want to collaborate with, which is really handy, and they can amend it and save it too. So really good for collaboration. Okay, I'm going to summarize because I'm looking at the time. So I'm going to summarize really quickly. So the core competence of TestingTime and where we fit and what we can be used for, it's recruitment for UX and CX. Typically 80% qual and 20% quant. We're very, very strong on interviews. We're also very, very good with surveys. The qual and the interviews is our real strength. DACH region, UK, France, Netherlands, all very, very strong. Think Switzerland and then move out from it. UK, really, really good. 44,000, I believe the pool was. Really, really good. 800,000 worldwide. Let us know if it's out of the core geographies. We'll let you know if we can do it. Public pool is the key. And what we've demonstrated today, how to set up an order on a public pool. However, we also have a private and a special pool. Please either go to the website or message me, and I can tell you all about private pools in a separate call. And yeah, it's a self-service platform. That's what I've just demonstrated. Feel free to try. You can't break it. You won't order anything by mistake. It gives you a great, clear, transparent indication of the price if you're looking for a quote. If you want to save a quote and then send it to me to check, that's the dream way of working. So I'd encourage everyone to have a go at creating one. And then maybe if you want to send it to me to have a little check, I can advise on it or give it a green light and say, yes, that's brilliant. My demo obviously worked. Awesome. I don't think we have time for questions, but I love questions. Feel free to reach out to me. As promised, here is the QR code one more time for you. Add me on LinkedIn, send me an email, book a meeting for a call. I get it's really generic. it would be very nice to understand a little bit more about your specifics as opposed to just doing a monologue and an overview. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's given a clear overview of testing time, and thank you very much for joining. I will leave this slide up for a couple of minutes. Thank you.